great. You know, this COVID-19 pandemic situation has converted me into an entrepreneur. I've started making pickles at home, that to
Wow,
the demand of my friends.
that's great. By what name are you selling them? And what is the price for them? And where are they available?
Oh, now I understand. Darling Meera, I haven't taken any of these decisions. I actually forgot to take all the four decisions you are referring to. I have not thought of product. I did not think of price. Neither I thought of place and neither promotion. So now I know why the demand was not picking up.
So worry not, my dear. We have one
One
stop solution
solution.
to all your problems. Attend this webinar and enjoy learning.
Yes. So students, wish you a very good afternoon. And here we start with chapter marketing. Chapter marketing, we move on to the slide that will tell you about the topics that we are going to cover in this session. So in this journey, the topics are going to be philosophies, functions, concepts of marketing. We'll also talk about elements, product, price, place, promotion in detail, and the much awaited slide, the topics that have been deleted from marketing. Now, here we start with the chapter marketing. When we talk about marketing, the first thing that comes to our mind is, what is market? Market, children, is a place where buyers could be actual, could be potential, where they come together to transact and satisfy their needs and wants. This market could be of different types, like national, international, maybe cotton, maybe wheat, maybe wholesale market, maybe a retail market. So now we move on to the next slide. Students, after we have understood that market is a place where potential or actual buyers and sellers, they transact, now the question that comes from then, what is marketing? Children, marketing is a social process. When we say process, means it has list of connected activities in a chronological order. And this order says the first thing we need to find out the needs and wants of the consumers. So based on their needs and wants, we try to develop a market offering. Such a market offering has a value for customer. Customer perceives a value, and when he perceives a value, he is happily able to buy it. Exchange mechanism happens very smoothly. Now, based on this definition, we move on to see the features. Students, you can see here the features of marketing. The first one, as I said, is knowing the needs and wants. When I say needs, what do you mean by this? Needs means basic needs: food, shelter, clothing. When I say wants, then what is that? It means demand for specific products. Let us understand through an example. When I say I'm thirsty, I am hungry, that is my basic need. Now, if I'm hungry or if I'm thirsty, to quench my thirst, I can have water, I can have lassi, I can have mango shake, I can have coffee. But when I say, no, I want mango shake, that means it's a demand for specific product. That is called want. Now, as a marketer, as a seller, we need to understand the needs and wants of the customer, because today it is a customer-oriented market. So, as a firm, I need to understand their needs, their wants, and then develop a product which has all specifications as desired by customer. Then only customer is going to value that product, that offering. And once he perceives a value in it, definitely the exchange mechanism is going to take place smoothly, and the firm is going to earn a lot of profit. So it is going to be a win-win situation. Customers will be happy and companies are going to earn profit. Now, most of us in general, they feel, what can be marketed? Ma'am, this is so easy. We already know that. We know that goods and services. But let me tell you, students, there's much more to goods and services that we can add to this list. We can market experiences, place, events, ideas, so many things. Let's take some examples to understand that how, other than goods and services, how other things can be marketed. For example, don't we buy a ticket to have a water ride in the amusement park? So that would be an experience of having a water ride. Or don't we buy a ticket to have a experience of balloon ride? Don't we buy a ticket to have a dinner with Alia Bhatt? And then let me add on to this. Don't we buy a ticket to visit to Goa or maybe Rajasthan? Padharo Maro Desh.
And
What do you
ma'am,
say, Meera?
yes, of course. And ma'am, how about certain events? Delhi is so
Ah,
popular with its trade fair, book fair, etc.
absolutely.
So it's beyond goods and services. There are a lot more things that can be marketed. You can market properties, you can market persons. You must have seen during election campaign, political personalities being marketed by the political parties. Isn't it, Meenu?
Yes, and thank you so much for wonderful example. Now, children, we move on to the next slide. Marketing management philosophies. When I say philosophies, these have been evolved over a period of time. And the purpose has always been to achieve the marketing objectives. We have 5 different concepts, but there's something common in them. What is that? The common part is all are aiming at profit maximization. The only difference is the route to profit maximization is different. So we are going to take each of these concepts one by one. Production concept. It aims at profit maximization through bulk production, through volume, through quantity. And one of the very good examples is Ford Motor Company. They always believe the more I create, the more I can sell. The economist JB says he feels that means supply creates its own demand. So that means all the companies which are working on quantity, bulk, the concept they're being followed is production. From production concept, now we move on to product. Again, remember, end is same, the goal is same, profit maximization. But here, the focus is on quality. And children, whenever I talk about quality, the example that comes to my mind is Apple. Every few months, they come out with better, improved versions of mobiles. iPhone, then 6, then 8, then 10, and I think 11 is also in the market now. So, product concept talks about profit, but through quality. Wow, very good. Now we come to the selling concept. But this is a short-run concept. This concept is not so popular. This concept feels that seller is the king and he can sell anything in the market using aggressive selling techniques. So now we move on to the next concept, that is marketing. Marketing, as Mr. Madan was also talking about, that there's hardly anything which cannot be marketed. Let me tell you, our product for today, this PPT, CTF, is offering this product to you, and that too based on your needs and wants. We know you have exams coming up. So accordingly, this product market offering has been created and is being offered through the CTF platform to you. So marketing means profit earning, but by knowing the needs and wants of the customers. That gives smile on the face of customers. That gives customer service. That gives customer satisfaction. Now, I want to add one thing here. If I add social welfare, if I add environment conservation to the marketing concept, it automatically gets converted into societal concept. Meera ma'am, you wanted to say something. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to say that when we are talking about marketing concept, it's the customer who becomes the king.
Yeah.
All marketing activities are revolving around the needs, wants, and satisfaction of those wants by marketers. So it's
Thank you so much, Meera ma'am. And in a way, ma'am has given a different view to the topic. Now you can even get the difference. You can understand the selling concept where the seller is the king. Marketing concept where you as consumers are the king. Thank you, ma'am, for your suggestions. We move on Yes, it's a time now for brainstorming session. But before that, Meera ma'am, please wait. I want my students to quickly close their eyes for 2 seconds and quickly revise the different concepts or different philosophies. So first, production, then product, then selling, where seller is the king, marketing, where consumer is the king, and societal, where consumer is the king, and at the same time, we talk about societal benefits. Yes, ma'am, we can
Thank you
have a
so much.
brainstorming session.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. That was so wonderfully explained. And I'm sure our kids are going to answer all the questions and get eclairs from you. So my
Yeah.
first question, kids, is quality and performance of the product is the main focus of which marketing management philosophy? Is it selling? Is it marketing? Is it production? Or is it product? The key word in the question is quality and performance of the product. So I'm sure you have no fear, no way you're going to get wrong. And we get the correct answer, ma'am, which is product concept.
Ma'am, my kids are asking for a smiley.
There it comes.
Yes.
There it is.
So much.
Good job. My next question is a short case study. So in case studies, as we have always told you, that we begin by looking at the question first. So here the question says, identify and explain the marketing philosophy being followed by Beauty Products Limited. So the question says, Beauty Products Limited is a natural and ethical beauty brand famous for offering beauty products for men and women. The company uses plant waste materials for its products and is a #1 beauty brand in the country. It not only satisfies its customers, but also believes in overall protection of the planet. So kids, I'm very sure with Meenu ma'am's explanation, you cannot go wrong. And your correct answer would be, it is the societal concept. And as far as writing the answer is concerned, you get ½ mark for identifying it correctly and 2.5 marks for explanation. And from our side, what do you get?
Here comes a smiley.
Yes, a smiley.
Yeah.
Now moving on, Meenu ma'am, what is this? Who's this mystery man?
Ma'am, you must be thinking as if I'm going to share a story of this mystery man. No, ma'am.
Exactly.
No. I'm here. This is something we have created for the benefit of our students. It's a mnemonic to learn 12 functions of marketing. Journal manager Puran Singh was tested COVID positive 3 times. The letters, the alphabets in red indicate every function. There are total 12 functions. If you read this line, I'm sure you will be able to retain, learn the 12 marketing functions.
All right. So with our mystery man, we move ahead towards the functions of marketing. Thank you, ma'am. That was so interesting and
Thank
such a.
you.
I'm sure the kids will never forget. So kids, I go back to the slide and we say, General Manager Puran Singh was tested COVID positive 3 times. God forbid it doesn't happen, but this is how you're never going to forget these 12 functions. So these are the 12 functions that you have in front of you. And we move on to them one by one. The first one is gathering and analyzing market information. Now put yourselves in the shoes of an entrepreneur. Wear your business cap and think, when you need to start a business, what is it you're looking for? You're looking for information. You're looking for finding out what is it that the customers need and what is it they want, so that you can prepare a market offering. So the very first function that they perform, the marketers perform, is gathering and analyzing market information. Moving on, the second one is market planning. In the 4th chapter of your syllabus, you must have read and you understood the importance of planning, how important it is to set a correct goal, how important it is to chalk out a proper course of action to move towards the goal. So when we are talking about market planning, we are talking about a course of action that a firm wishes to take when it has to reach certain objectives. And in the course of this discussion, we will be coming across several marketing objectives. Moving on, the third one is product designing and development. This is actually what goes to the customer in form of experience, in form of a product, in form of a service. The complete package that goes to the people, to the customers, is under product designing and development. At this point of time, I would like to emphasize that each of these 12 functions is important. It has its own place in the marketing strategy for any firm. The next one is standardization and grading. Now, standardization refers to we decide certain specifications according to which production has to take place. The purpose being that we have to maintain consistency in the output. Think of it this way. You like to have, let's say, bourbon biscuits. Now, if you eat bourbon biscuits, you like the chocolatey taste, you like the crisp and crunchy taste. But next time when you buy, and if you get something different, which is different from the previous taste, you're not going to trust that marketer. So standardization becomes absolutely important. And then grading is classifying the products into different groups. This is a topic that we'll be touching upon in details a little later. Moving on, packaging and labeling. This is the time, this is the day where people get carried by the outer look of the product. There are so many times you go to a shop, you go to a mall, and you end up buying a product which you never thought you would buy, but you were so carried, you were so impressed by its packaging. So packaging is the process of designing beautiful covers, those kinds of covers and packages and cases and boxes, which will make convenient handling and secure the product at the same time. And labeling is about giving information to the customers through labels. Again, this is a topic that we'll be dealing in details a bit later. Next is branding. Branding is assigning a name, and it is, let me tell you, one of my favorite topics in the chapter, and I'm going to deal with it in details later on. So as of now, branding is just giving a name. So I write with a pen or I write with a Parker. I can switch on a fan, or I have a Havells here. That is the difference between a product and giving it an identity. So branding is the exercise of giving a distinct identity to the product. Next, we have customer support service. It's a challenge, kids. Pick up any product and you are bound to find this customer care number on the product. This customer care number is a number, phone number, a toll-free number in most of the cases that helps you to connect with the company for all your problems. Since ma'am said that we are living in a customer-oriented society where customer is the king, so all companies believe that keeping the customers happy, one way is solving their problems, serving them in different ways, even post-sale time. Now,
excuse me, ma'am. There's the question that's popping up in my mind.
Yes, ma'am.
How customer support services help to develop a brand loyalty?
Remember, Meenu, you wanted to buy a RO, water purifier, and you asked me, and I had told you, look for that particular brand because it has very good after-sale services. Because I buy a product, but I'm also looking for companies which will provide me the spare parts, the maintenance services. And India somehow believes a lot in word of mouth publicity. Yes. So one way of keeping your customers happy is by giving them great after-sale services. So they play a major part.
Thank you so much.
Okay, ma'am, handing over to you for next set of functions.
Yes, we move on to the next, pricing. Pricing, it is the amount paid by a customer to buy a product or service. Let me tell you, students, we are talking about business, economic activities. There's nothing that comes free of cost. We have to shell out money. And also remember, pricing is one of the very important factors because that's the only one factor which generates revenue for the firm. We move on to the next. Yes, promotion, informing, persuading customers to buy the products. You may have one of the finest products available, but until unless customer knows about it, he will not be able to buy it or will be able to reach out to the product. There are different tools of promotion which will be taken up in detail when we do marketing mix. We move on to the next function, physical distribution. When I say physical distribution, I'm basically referring to two different decisions. Number one, I'm talking about intermediaries, that is wholesalers, retailers. And secondly, I'm talking about physical movement of goods from the place of production to the place of consumption, which involves warehousing, transportation, and we are going to take up again this in detail as one of the P's in the marketing mix. We move on to the next slide, that's transportation. Children, transportation, different modes of transportation, it's only because of them it is possible to move the goods from places where they are produced to other parts of the country. We are able to have tea, coffee, and you can name any product. Maybe apples that you enjoy from Himachal to different parts of the country. How is it possible? It's all because of transportation. They create place utility. And moving on to the last function, storage, warehousing. They bridge the gap between the time the goods are produced and the time they are consumed. They create time utility. They help in the storage of goods, safe storage of goods.
All right, ma'am, before we begin with our question answer session, can we just give them a quick recap of what we did?
Sure,
our mystery man,
sure.
Our mystery man, what was it?
Yes, students, before we move on to the brainstorming session, I want you to refresh your memories. Close your eyes for a while and quickly revise two things I want you to revise. The first one are the 5 concepts. What is the concepts are? 1, production, product, selling, marketing, and societal marketing. And something which ma'am has recently done, the 12 marketing functions. And there's a very interesting line that we have to remember the 12. That is, Journal Manager Puran Singh was tested COVID positive 3 times. You look at the first alphabet and you will be able to remember all the 12 functions of marketing. It would be a great help when you are trying to crack a case study.
Meenu, I'm 100% sure kids are not going to forget this mystery man.
I can see a smile on their face as well.
Right.
Kids are enjoying.
So here it is. General Manager Puran Singh was tested COVID positive 3 times.
Yeah.
Don't ever forget, these are the 12 functions of marketing. And like I said, 5 marketing philosophies. And we are going to now test you how well we have taught you. Also interested in results.
Meera, you have to be ready with the eclairs. All my kids are going to give you right answers. So be generous to give them the chocolate.
All right. So the first question is, marketing functions do not include, number 1, after-sales service, selling, negotiating with government officials, and recruiting sales team. Yes, my heart is beating. I want most of you to come up with the correct answer. Yeah, the correct answer is number 4, which is recruiting sales team. And by the way, which department performed, which function of management is responsible for this job? Never mind, here is our smiley for you. Take it as eclairs that ma'am has been promising.
Thank you.
Next one is the act of designing and producing the container or a wrapper of a product is called as? Come on, it cannot get easier than this. Yes, it is packaging. So packaging is the art of designing and producing suitable containers or wrappers or boxes for the product. Here is your smiley again. Now we have a case study, and in case study, this is a case study from CBSE sample paper. The question here says, which concept of marketing discussed above is performing the important function of communicating with the potential buyers and promoting the sale? So kids, whenever you are starting a case study, keep a pencil handy and underline the keywords in the question. Underline the keywords in the answer, and 99% times you will get a correct answer. So I'll read the case for you. It says, Tomato Limited, a food delivery service app, has recently faced criticism for the tampering of their products by the delivery boys. Tomato Limited decided to put a hologram on the food packets in order to protect the contents from spoilage, leakage, pilferage, along with a tag with a safety warning for the consumers to check the seal. All right, which concept of marketing is being discussed here? Is it branding? Is it labeling? Is it packaging? Or is it product designing and development? The correct answer is, it is labeling. If you can see it here, and my smiling man is back to you. Moving on now, I take you through a short journey of the next concept of the chapter, which is marketing mix. Now, when we talk about the word mix, we are bringing in few things together. It's an amalgamation, it's mixing of things. So marketing mix is basically about 4 P's of marketing, which is place, product, price, and promotion. And when you do MBA kids later on, you will find out that there are 21 P's in marketing. But for class 12th level, we are just going to be talking about the 4 P's. So beginning with the first one, it is the 4 P's are your product, price, place, and promotion. And these are the 4 pillars on which modern marketing stands. Each of these have to be strong. Each of these has to be solid for the marketing to move ahead strongly. So now how does this marketing mix develop? How does this evolve? This evolves because marketing is about creating a market offering. In the introductory chapter, you had done this, that market is about creating a proper market offering. I decide to manufacture let's say shirts. Now, when I want to do these shirts, make these shirts, I have to identify who will be my customers, whether they'll be office goers or casual shirts or formal shirts. So there are a number of factors which go into taking this marketing decision. And some of these factors are controllable and some of these factors are uncontrollable. And the controllable factors become the marketing tool. So these basically marketing mix is nothing else, but I have been reiterating, it is basically about the 4 P's, the product, the place, the price, and promotion. So moving on to the first element of marketing mix, it is product mix and its sub-elements. Now, when I'm talking about a product is not just about physical features. It is a lot more than those physical features. It is about the satisfaction that you derive from buying that product, by investing some money in that product. So the physical aspect become the tangible aspects, and the non-physical aspect become the intangible aspects, become the even more important part of the product. So for example, if I'm saying tangible aspects, these are those features which you can touch and see and feel. But there are intangible aspects which can only be experienced. For example, if I buy a very expensive, suppose I wear watches, okay, any kind of watches. But like I buy a Cartier, a mighty expensive Cartier, it is going to show the same time as any other watch that you get online or somewhere else for 300, 400. But Cartier gives me a psychological satisfaction which makes me feel very, very happy. That intangible experience is something for which I am paying the price, a much higher price. I'm ready to pay the price. So this is what we are talking about. It's about customers' happiness, which comes first. It's the customer's delight that we are looking at. It doesn't have a physical existence, yet we are paying and marketers are selling it to us. So when we buy a product, we are looking at 3 benefits. We're looking at functional benefits, we're looking at psychological benefits, and we are looking at social benefit. Talking about functional benefit, think of it this way. You stay in A block and your tuition center is in C block. You can go there by a cycle, no problem. All you need to do is cover maybe 2 kilometers. But if I had a motorcycle, I will be happier. It will add to my prestige. So psychological satisfaction. Instead of a cycle for maybe 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, I want a bike for 80,000, 90,000. Fine. But na ji sanu te Harley Davidson chaidi. That is your social benefit. It is the social acceptance which is so very important for our well-being, for our mental satisfaction. So once again, I repeat that when we are buying a product, apart from its core usage, we are looking at psychological benefits and social benefits. Moving on, there are 3 essentials that make a complete market offering. Don't get confused. I said 4 pillars of marketing, which were product, price, place, and promotion. But now I'm talking about product mix, the first basic element. And the 3 pillars are branding, packaging, and labeling. We begin with branding. There are boys and girls in a class. And there is Ramesh, there is Suresh, there is Natasha, and so on. So the difference between a branded and a non-branded product is the moment I give a name to a product, the product gets an identity. The product develops a personality. And this is what branding does. And when you are thinking of a product as a person, you are trying to build a connect. You means the customer is trying to build a connect. I have a friend who only uses a particular toothpaste which is not available here, which is available somewhere else, but she makes sure that she uses it. It's nothing very expensive, but that's what she likes. So it's the connect that a brand you can make, a customer and a brand can create a connect. So branding is a very, very important exercise, which is about giving a name to a product and popularizing it. If I go to buy a shampoo, will I say, bhaiya shampoo de dena? So bhaiya will give me 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, 10. There are hundreds of shampoo that he'll give me. But I will say, I want Tresemme. So I have given a name to a product which I am able to identify. It is my brand, and sellers, and capitalize on this fact that customers associate themselves with a particular product. Now, when we're talking about branding, there are 4 important terms that we'll be talking to. The first one is brand. A brand is a common name. It can be a name, it can be a term, it can be a sign or a symbol or a combination of these with which you identify and differentiate products of different sellers. This brand can be made of, it can be, with brands, you have brand mark and brand name. So in this case, if you see, this Pepsi is a brand name. So I said there's one term brand. A brand can be a combination of certain words, certain designs, certain symbols, or a combination. And a brand consists of brand name and brand mark. So brand name is that part of a brand which can be pronounced, which you can utter. So in this case, it's Pepsi. And this brand mark is a symbol. If I told anybody, even without the word Pepsi, if I showed you this circle with red and blue design, this is their fire and ice effect, by the way, for you to know that Pepsi's red and blue circle is about fire and ice effect that Pepsi has on you. So this is a brand mark, and it's equally important. Even without looking at, too many of things, you can talk about different kinds of brand marks. Then trademark. The difference between a trademark and a brand mark is that when you get your brand mark registered under Trademarks Act 1999, your brand becomes a trademark and it becomes exclusive property of yours. Nobody can use that property. Yes, Meenu, I can see a lot of anxiousness on your face.
Yeah, this gives me an idea. Since I'm doing the pickle business, that means you are telling me that I also need to get a legal protection to my brand mark?
Of course. What's the name have you thought? By the way, have you thought of a name?
Let me tell you, now I've decided a name for my product.
What is it?
Chaska Pickles.
Wow. See, automatically a tingling sensation is there in my mouth when I heard Maska Chaska.
Yes.
Fantastic. All the best.
Thank you.
Okay, so we move on. These are some of the renowned brands that you might recognize, and I'm sure there are hundreds of others you will be recognizing. So again, what did I say a brand is? A brand is a combination of certain words which can be spoken and certain color combinations, designs which you identify a product. And her brand कुछ कहता है, like I said, हमारी सबकी कहानियां होती हैं. Each of us has some unique tales to tell. Similarly, all brands have a story to tell. So this brand of Jeff Bezos, Amazon brand, which is right now $220 billion, is about A to Z range of products which are available online thanks to Amazon shopping. Now we move on to the advantages of branding. I have been, reiterating that it's an important exercise. It helps in product differentiation. You can distinguish between different products by name. I use X shampoo, somebody uses Y, somebody uses Z. So the name is something that differentiates. And the third point, that on the basis of these distinctions, differential pricing can be maintained by firms. Obviously, it helps in advertising and display of the product. If again I said I'm manufacturing shirt, ma'am is manufacturing pickles. So she can't go on saying, buy my pickle has these qualities, this is the quality of my pickle. No, the moment you say Muska, Chaska, you know you are talking about a particular brand with certain qualities. Then new products can be conveniently introduced with the name. And again, this is for brands which have established themselves. A brand ensures quality. Now think of your favorite snack, kurkure. It's yummy, it's tingling, it's nice snack. If I gave you those same 10 or 20 rupees kurkure in a transparent pack with nothing written on it, won't you have a lot of questions on your mind? That whether it is of good quality or not, has it been sealed properly? Is it a fake or a spurious item? So kids, in order to ensure quality, guarantee quality to the people, to its customers, remember that nice and smart orange and blue packing of kurkure that ensures quality. And of course, like I said, a Harley Davidson is a status symbol. A Cartier that I have is a status symbol. So it adds to my psychological and social satisfaction. Now, what makes a good brand? Companies spend huge amount of money, and let me tell you, some of the brand managers of multinational companies are the highest paid executives in the company, managers in the company. What is it that they do? They give a product an identity, an exclusive identity by which it is known in the market. So what is it that makes a good brand name? First one is it should be short and easy to pronounce, such as Lux and Maggie. Lux has been there for ages and it has stayed. It is because of this catchy, short, sweet name that it has been there. I don't need to say anything about Maggie. Similarly, the other benefit is a brand name should suggest the benefits and qualities. For example, Clean and Clear for a skin clean cream. Think of it this way. If I called Soft and Silky as a brand of cement, how funny would that be? So a brand name should suggest the qualities and benefits of the product. And a chosen brand name should have staying power. My favorite example is Allahabad Bank, which has been there in existence since 1865, and it's still rocking the show. And of course, it should be sufficiently versatile. For example, Tata does umbrella branding for its products. So one name Tata, and you can sell motors and Tata Tea and Tata Steel and so on along with that name. So it's very important to brand your products consciously. Moving on to the third important ingredient of product mix, it is your packaging. This is the time of packaging where we as customers get carried away by the outer looks of the product. And trust me, we are not fools. We are not being fooled by the outer look, because branding, packaging, and a little later labeling, these are conjoined twin triplets of marketing. These triplets make a complete market offering for a product. So packaging is basically designing and producing suitable containers or boxes or cases or wrappers for the product. Think of different products that you buy in the course of the day. Think of a toothpaste, think of a mobile phone, think of a pair of shoes, think of anything. The kind of case, the packet that it comes in adds to the market value of the product. I just now told you that if I offered kurkure in a transparent polythene pack, you would not even look at it. It is that smart looking packaging with the name crisply written that adds to the market value of the product and that adds to the customer. And funny thing is, we don't eat wrappers, we don't eat cases and boxes, yet we are happily paying for those boxes and cases. Well, I will still say I'm not a fool. I'm not being fooled by the marketers. This is how I like to spend my money. So there are three levels of packaging: primary levels, secondary level, and transportation level. I'm sure the picture is worth 1,000 words and you can make out. Primary packing is the packing in which the case, the container in which the product is placed. Secondary packing is in the outer covering. The purpose is to ensure that the product is a little more safe as compared to its primary packing. And there's no hard and fast rule. I'm sure if you look a little more consciously, you will come across products which may not have a primary packing or may not have a secondary packing. However, transportation packing will be there in all the cases. Veenu ma'am had told you in functions of marketing that we get our apples from Himachal, coffee from Karnataka, tea from Assam, and everything is being transported So unless and until we have the products properly packed, there's no way they can reach us safely. Meenu ma'am, you have something to say.
And I have a question here.
Yeah,
I
shoot.
want to know whether is it mandatory that every product has to have 3 levels of packaging?
No, ma'am, it's not sure. It's not 100% sure. For example, if I talk about soaps, let's say talk about Lux. A Lux just has a primary packing, which is a thin paper wrapper in which the product is placed. There's no secondary packing in that case. You can say sometimes for a sales promotion purpose, you have 3 cup pack, like, buy one get three free kinds, but that's not secondary packing.
Even if we look into socks, I think
Yeah.
in case of socks also, there is only 2 leveled packaging which is available.
Right, absolutely right. Correct. Ma'am, 2 heads are better than one.
Thank you.
All right. So why is packaging important? It is important. We have become more health conscious. We become more hygiene conscious. Now look at this mustard oil, which is being sold in the first picture, and this nice and smartly packed fortune pack, which says, don't buy if the seal is broken. This is my confidence in this brand. And it is because I have become more conscious. Perhaps my mother and my grandmother used open mustard oil. They had no problem. But we as the present generation have become more health conscious. So packaging has become so very important. Moving on, self-service outlets. Everybody is now aware. Even the small grocery store next to you also gives you the facility of walking into the store, picking up packets, checking out the label and all. So because of that, packaging has to be more strong, more sturdy, and more attractive. Then I just love this one. It gives you so much of scope to innovate. Look at this butter stick. If you didn't see it properly, it would look like a glue stick. Think of all the messiness that you have to go through when you butter your bread. Well, for some people, it's a favorite job, but let's forget that. So you have this convenient butter stick with which you can, just butter your toast and enjoy a clean, neat breakfast. How about these tea flasks on the other side? They are biodegradable, they are smart looking, and who's saying you have to have your tea hot? You can have your chilled iced tea. So this is what packaging gives you. It gives you immense opportunities to innovate. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, there is something more. I mean, everyone, all my students would agree that milk is a perishable product with a very small shelf age, but it is the innovational packaging, multi-layered tetra packaging, because of which you can store milk for 6 months.
Yes.
That increased its shelf life from few hours to 6 months. The credit is only to innovational packaging.
And ma'am, let me tell you, I again go back to what you had said, that customer is the king. Think of all those youngsters who are working in MNCs 24/7. They are coming at odd hours. Who's going to go to a milk dairy and buy it? So they have these packages in the fridges, open it, use it and forget it. That's what marketing is, that beta, if you want something, I am there to give it to you. Don't worry. The only thing is you should have the green bucks in your pocket. Again, another important feature is packaging gives a product differentiation. I can look at all the packages and identify my brand immediately, even if I don't read the label properly, because I identify beer, shampoo, yellow bottle, golden kind of a copper kind of a cap is my brand. So it gives you a identification as well as differentiation. Think of it, if this packaging thing was not there in the marketing, all products would look so identical, so boring, so monotonous. It also helps in, I told you, identifying your product. I like to have NutriChoice. It may be hidden behind hide and seek and others, but I can easily identify by this yellow pack with the green label on it. So it helps me to identify the product. It also, obviously, the basic purpose of packaging is to protect the product. It can be a glass bottle, it can be a Tetra Pak, as ma'am said, it can be cardboard boxes, and I'm sure those bubble wrappers which you love to burst happily, they are also a part of packaging. So packaging is also about protecting the product from destruction, pilferage, etc. And then, of course, product promotion. Some products are so beautifully packed that by themselves they become an advertisement. Tell me, have you ever seen an ad of Ferrero Rocher on television or somewhere? Or maybe if you've seen, it's not very frequent. But by itself, by its look, people get carried away by beautifully done tray-like packing and they buy it. So by looking at the product, spontaneous purchasing is pursued by customers. Hence, it becomes a tool of promotion also. Sounds funny, but that's a fact. Then, of course, facilitating the use of the product from a glass bottle, which might fall down and break, we switched over to these squeezy bottles, and then came the smart looking pouches and the squeezy pouches again, which were convenient to handle. Now we move on to the third important integral part of product mix, which is labeling. By now, I have referred frequently to label. At this point, I will again re-emphasize that packaging, branding, and labeling go hand in hand. You cannot think of labeling without packaging. You cannot think of packing without branding and labeling. So they are absolutely intertwined with each other. However, labeling is the process of putting labels on a product. The purpose of labeling, the basic purpose was to give complete information to the product, of the product to the customer. So when we buy a product, so many times I look at the first thing I look at is the expiry date in case of medicines, in case of edibles. I look at where was it manufactured, what are the storing instructions, what is the price, etc., etc. So it can be a simple tag or it can be a very elaborate tag. So in this case, a Fevicol one is a simple ad, simple label which tells you, okay, this is Fevicol. By the way, for all technical persons, Fevicol also has different varieties for different purposes. So this is a Fevicol that's commonly used during making of furniture. On the other hand, I have an elaborate Bonvita label which gives you a lot of information about the product, its contents, its nutritional value, and so on. Now, what are the various functions which a label performs? Obviously, the very first, the basic function is describing the product and specify its contents. So if you see here, it contains caffeine, every 100 ml of Coca-Cola contains these many calories. All these are there for customers to know before they consume. Yes, ma'am, welcome.
I was just thinking that I think few years, I exactly don't remember the year, but I think few years back, there's in CBSE, there was a question once that they had given a product and students were asked to design a label for that product. So
Right.
I would suggest to all my students who are here attending the session that at least, if not all the information, at least 10 important informations, they must try to remember, like maybe if they get a question again, and they'll be in a position to answer it well.
Exactly. That is the purpose of this webinar, to, give you all those big and small tips and, brush up the syllabus that you might have already done. So moving on, the next function that it performs is labeling also helps you to identify a product or brand. Kids, I just now told you labeling, packaging, branding go hand in hand. And in packaging also you saw that it helps in identification of the product. So when a company is designing a bottle of shampoo, it will design the shape, the size, the look, the lid, whether it will be a squeezy bottle, whether it will have that, press usage one pack, where the name should be there, what other information should be there. All this goes hand in hand. So a label also helps you to identify a product or a brand. Then of course, grading of products becomes more convenient. You think of tiles, you think of non-branded items, you think of tea, you think of vegetarian and non-vegetarian items. So on the label only, the information about grades of the product is given. Then it helps in promotion. I told you when you pack your product properly. I gave you example of Ferrero Rocher packing, of the chocolate packing. By looking at that pack, you saw the first thing, Ferrero Rocher. Now, it by itself, that package is a promotional tool. So, how is it so? It is because the package has an important label placed on it, which children realize, which customers realize that it is the brand that I'm looking for. So, a properly descriptive label will help in promotion also. You think of it this way, that you go to buy, let's say, a shampoo. You're looking for a specific medicated shampoo. You have a problem of hair fall or dandruff, so you would like to see the label. A label will promote that brand that suits you more. Yes, Meenu ma'am.
Yes, I could not. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
No, you're most welcome. You're most welcome.
Because these kids, they are so fond of certain brands, sport brands. For example, Nike. They, by looking at swoosh, they immediately come to know that my friend is wearing a Nike shoe or a
Ma'am,
Nike
this
shirt.
generation does not wear shoes and clothes, they wear brands. Rest
Yes,
assured. They
absolutely
don't
right.
wear clothes, they don't wear shoes, they wear brands.
Yes, true, true.
Okay. Sometimes a label requires a certain information, which is a legal compulsion or a government regulation. For example, in case of all hazardous product, there has to be a warning. For example, if you know the products like cigarette and tobacco, they have to have a statutory warning. This statutory warning is a result of requirement by law. So this very important function performed by labeling is that fulfill the legal requirements or requirements of the government. Yes, ma'am, anything?
Yes, I
Yeah.
would like to say thank you to you for such a detailed, comprehensive, and with such a lovely smile on your face. Thank you so much. And I can see those smiles on the face of my students as well. I'm
God
sure
bless
they are
them.
loving your sessions. And beta, here is the end of product mix. But before moving on to the brainstorming session, as a protocol,
Ritual.
yes, as a ritual,
Ritual.
that's the right word. We are going to revise. We want you to learn the concept, the chapter, the topics right here. No homework. So, once again, before going on to the brainstorming session, I take you to the first slide. We started with what is market, we moved on to marketing, the four features of marketing, that is knowing the needs or making a market offering, creating a customer value, and lastly, exchange mechanism. Then, children, we spoke about the five concepts, the five philosophies. Once again, the first one was product, then production, then product, then selling, where seller is the king. Although it's very unpopular, it doesn't work in the long run. Then
May I add,
marketing.
Meenu, ma'am? We can't, I mean, it is unpopular, no doubt. But if you, like we said, we're talking about evolution of marketing, and selling concept arose when there was an increase in the volume of production and the marketers wanted to attack the customers aggressively selling. That's when this concept was there. Of course, today it is an outdated concept,
It
but
is
once
enough.
upon a time it
That's
was very valid.
exactly. It's enough because now today's consumer is a very aware consumer. He knows about his rights, and at the same time, the availability of information. He has a reach out to the global. Now the market, it's a global world. It's a global village. So if we do not give him what he wants, or he will automatically shift on to the substitutes.
Exactly.
Anyways, now though we have done the five philosophies, then we had moved on. After that, we moved on to the 12 functions of marketing. Remember that, don't
The
forget.
mystery man.
The mystery man, yes, Journal Manager Purin Singh was tested COVID positive 3 times.
How unfortunate for him, but fortunate for us.
Okay, thank you. So that's how we learn the 12 marketing functions. And then, as Meera ma'am has done, out of 4 P's, she has done already product mix with you. When they say product, now I'm sure you remember. Product does not just refer to goods and services. There is much more to this list. And the 3 important decisions of product mix are branding, packaging, labeling. Remember, children, I have already made a mistake. I started the pickle business, but I never took these 3 decisions. But now, when you become the entrepreneur, please do take them. When we talk about branding, ma'am has given us, when we talk about branding, there are some important sub decisions here. We need to think about the brand name, something which we can spell. We have to talk about brand mark, and we also have to have convert the brand mark, get a legal protection, and make it a trademark. Then ma'am also spoke about packaging. Remember, there is a difference between package and packaging. The wrapper is package, and the process of designing the wrapper is packaging. Then lastly, but not the least, ma'am also spoke about labeling. Label is the detailed information on the wrapper, and the process of designing a label is called as labeling. So that is what has all been covered till here. And now we start on with a brainstorming session. So ready with your pens, be ready to type your answers in the Q&A box. And here we start. The component of, I just start with the question. Yes, the component of a product mix gives a distinct identity to a product. Identify it. Remember, students, you have three options: branding, packaging, labeling. Yes, brainstorming session. Come up with your answers. Wow, I want more and more people to put their answers in the Q&A box. Yes, I can see not many answers coming up. Wow, back up, students, you know it. Yes, the answer is branding. And thank you, Meera ma'am, for giving a smiley for all the students who have given the right answer.
Pleasure, ma'am. Moving on.
Yes, question number 2. Corrugated boxes are a part of primary package, secondary package, transportation package, or labels. Students, I'm sure you remember that slide, the toothpaste slide, that example of a toothpaste. So, corrugated box, do you think the toothpaste is packed in a corrugated box? Is it a secondary or is it transportation? Please, I've given you enough of hint. Now we want the answer. Meera ma'am, can we have an answer, please?
Yes, ma'am. The answer is, one second, ma'am. The answer is here.
Students already know it, ma'am.
Okay, the correct answer is branding. I'm sorry, ma'am. I messed up with the thing. It's transportation packaging.
Yes,
I'm so sorry.
But no, you need not to be sorry. You have applauded. You have motivated the students with a smiley as well.
And let me tell you, students, it's fun making mistakes if they are unintended mistakes. You should enjoy because you learn a lot from mistakes, but don't make mistakes for the sake of making mistakes only. Now, your next question.
Yes. As a creative head of an advertising agency, you have to tell an important client of yours that Wise, Soft and Smooth is an unsuitable name for a brand of cement. Students, I think it's very obvious. Who would like to buy a cement which is soft and smooth? Never, never, ever. I would like to prefer to buy a cement which is hard, which is strong. So I want more and more students to please participate. That Wise, Soft and Smooth is incorrect. Think and write the correct word. What is that? What makes it unsuitable? Yes.
And here's your answer.
Yes. And here is a smiley as well coming up from. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so it is not advisable to give this name Soft and Smooth because a brand must suggest the quality and benefits of a product. So soft and smooth for a cement is totally inappropriate. A good round of applause for all our kids, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right.